Planning a wedding and feeling overwhelmed? Simply Eloped makes it easy. With over 1,400 elopements and vow renewals planned and 37 stunning U.S. destinations, our planners have you covered. Our all-inclusive packages connect you with over 700 top-tier vendors, cutting stress, cost, and complexity. Your love story deserves ease. Let us handle the hard stuff. You just show up and say, I do. Start at simplyeloped.com. It's the Friday News Roundup. We're talking about the mayor and city council throwing punches over the city's big housing plan. Youth football players from Philly got into trouble down in Florida. And speaking of punches, the Rocky statue is on the move, or is it? It's Friday, December 12th. I'm Trenae Nuri, and here's what Philly's talking about. Joining me this week at the Fiddler Club is CityCast Philly executive producer Matt Katz. Hey, Matt!
That's not the first nor the last Rocky impression we're going to get from you today, is it?
No, it's not.
We have to start with our membership campaign. We've been telling folks about it all week, but today is the last and final day. We are hoping to get more CityCast Philly neighbors. We've had a bunch come through this week. It is so thrilling when we get the little ding on our notifications that we have a new neighbor joining the family. Or joining the neighborhood, I should say, I guess.
Yeah, join the neighborhood. Yeah. Go online right now to membership.citycast.fm/Philly. You know, right now we are giving out these black beanies. Yeah. And speaking of Rocky, we're going to be talking about Rocky all in this episode. But the beanie kind of like reminds me of when Rocky had the black beanie on with the gray sweatsuit, running up the art museum steps. Yeah. You want to become a neighbor right now so you can get your hands on that beanie. This is the last day to get it.
And it's not just the beanie. There's so many other perks. You get ad-free listening, so you have a special feed on your podcast app where you can just listen to the show without any ads. You get an email once a week with events going forward for the next week. Siani personally curates that and makes sure that you're getting the most interesting, unique things happening in the city. So that comes to your inbox every Monday. Plus access to these members-only, neighbors-only events. And we have an amazing one that we're going to tell everybody about in a couple of weeks coming up in January. And these are events that we do every few months. And the whole team is there, and they're exclusive for our neighbors. So membership is $10 a month, $100 a year. It directly supports this show. We make this show. We put out this newsletter every single day because we love the city. We want to see the city get better and better. And we want to build community in this town. And we need your help to continue doing that.
Don't go into the new year without a plan to be a neighbor. Do it right now. Membership is only $10. And I've said it before, it's cheaper than a cheesesteak.
That's right.
Membership is $10 a month or $100 a year, and it directly supports the show that you're listening to. You can laugh with us. You can have these conversations when you're going to your next community event. Become a neighbor right now. And seriously, this is the last day to join and get the CityCast Philly beanie. We would love for you to be rocking it in the grocery store, at the farmers markets. So do it now.
And just think about the shows that you've listened to maybe just in the last couple of weeks. I mean, we talk about such a range of topics on this show. We've talked about the push to get phones out of Philly schools. We've given you a Philly-specific gift guide. We brought on the head of soccer for Philadelphia to tell you why and how FIFA World Cup is going to take over this town come this summer. We've told you about the best thrift stores in the city and the prettiest places to eat and drink and what the hell is going on with SEPTA and the biggest events happening in Philly throughout the month. This is just in the last couple of weeks. These are just the shows in the last couple of weeks. So if you've appreciated any or all of those, we hope that you can take the time right now to go to membership.citycast.fm. And Trenae, you know, one of the things that we've done so extensively just this past year is interview elected officials. I counted, you have interviewed 18 elected officials in the city just in the past year. It is such a service to the community. It's such a value for our listeners. It's been an education for us. It's informed Philadelphians about the good and the bad and the ugly. We just are, it's exemplative of how we're trying to communicate to you about what's happening when it comes to city government in real human ways, but also it's just one piece of what we're trying to talk about. I mean, we talk about culture and restaurants and streets, but also city government. And that's probably where we should start the show right now.
Absolutely. City government. And the hottest topic right now is this home initiative. Let's catch up real quick, though, okay?
Yeah.
What is the home initiative? The home initiative is Mayor Sherrell Parker's very ambitious initiative, a massive $2 billion plan to build, preserve, and repair 30,000 units of housing.
And the way this is supposed to happen is through $800 million in bonds carried out via more than 50 city housing programs. And this is the mayor's program, but city council's basically on board with this. They support this idea of fixing or building 30,000 units of housing.
Right.
But city council needs to vote really on two major things in order for this to happen. And the first of those two votes happened yesterday in city council, but not really fully in support of what the mayor had wanted. And as a result of this dispute, we've seen now a real split between the mayor and city council. So technically everybody's on board with, improving housing.
Right. That's not a point of contention.
Exactly
Everyone's
right.
Housing is important in the city. Cool. What is the split is who gets to benefit in the first year with the housing plan.
Right.
Right. And it's all about income eligibility.
Right. And specifically for two of the plan's programs. One is called Basic Systems Repair, which funds home improvements for homeowners who can't afford it. And the other is Adaptive Modification Program, and that's to modify homes for disabled renters and homeowners, like ramps and whatnot, so they're able to live comfortably in their homes.
And city council's on board with this, Matt. But they made a change that the mayor didn't like. They adjusted the income eligibility, like I just mentioned, of these programs so more people with lower household incomes could benefit. And the mayor wanted to target those who, have somewhat higher incomes or what, has been classified as the working class or middle class.
Right. Yeah, exactly right. And here's a clip of the mayor talking on WHYY's Studio 2 this week. And it's about a minute long, and I think it'll give listeners a sense of the mayor's argument here.
I'm thinking about the Philadelphian who, let's say, spent 30 years working for the city of Philadelphia. They've retired. Now they're only living on a portion of their income. They have their pension. But because they work, they paid into Social Security. So they get their pension plus Social Security. Well, when you add those two incomes together, it takes them over the traditional eligibility guidelines. So these people who have been homeowners, who have been the most consistent supporters and contributors to Philadelphia's tax base, say, now I need access to home repair. I'm not working like I was before. I'm a senior now, but I'm trying to stay in my beautiful row home, and they need help. And we say, sorry. You've been a consistent homeowner, a consistent taxpayer, and yes, we have this amazing program, but just not for you. That's what I call pitting the have-nots against those who have just a little bit. Now, it sounds easy for somebody to make a 30-second social media clip and say, I'm fighting to make sure we take care of poor people in the city of Philadelphia. I don't say that because I read a white paper. I know what my real life lived experience is, and I'm going to do that no matter where I go because I won't forget from whence I come.
From whence I came from.
I know. I mean, you don't really hear people use the word whence correctly in a sentence or ever in a sentence. So kudos to the mayor for that. But she's making this argument. You can kind of picture this Philadelphian in your head. This is a maybe somebody who worked for the city for 30 years, never made six figures, owns a home, maybe was passed down through the generations. Maybe this person is now retired and living on Social Security and a pension, and that covers their expenses, but maybe they're also caring for family members and they don't have enough money to fix the water heater.
Or they got a kid in school, right?
So they have enough money to, go down to the Acme, but they don't necessarily have money to fix the roof that's been leaking for the last couple of years. They don't have the money to make that big, like $5,000 expenditure. And this is the person that the mayor is thinking about, wanting to stabilize that middle class and not address the most impoverished Philadelphians. And that dig she made about making 30-second social media clips, that was probably aimed at two of the most progressive members of council, Jamie Gauthier and Rue Landau, who have been talking about how they are championing the most impoverished Philadelphians.
Which is admirable. Let's just put that out there, right?
Yeah.
It is admirable to have elected officials speak and advocate for middle to working class families and those who are impoverished.
Mm-hmm.
Mayor Parker went on a tour of the churches.
Yeah,
this past weekend, right?
Yeah.
Promoting her perspective on this dispute. You found a quote from council member Nicholas O'Rourke.
Yeah, he called this approach by Parker Trumpian. The fact that she was going around kind of rallying support for her legislation.
It did feel kind of like campaigny.
Yeah.
And I kind of wondered, why our mayor, who's been a public servant for many years, took this approach and why she's trying to, maybe rally her base. Is that the Trumpian part of that?
Yeah, I think
Just
that's exactly what she was trying to do. I'm sure there are many people in those pews who have leaky roofs and could use support from the city to make those fixes to their homes. So I think that's exactly what was happening there. I also think there's something else going on here that's beyond just the ideological. I mean, yes, the mayor thinks stabilizing the middle class is the way to stabilize the city. Retired city workers who are doing okay, but not great on their pension, Social Security, they need the assistance. There's that. And then most city council members think government's job is to help the very least fortunate amongst us, people who can't get into stable housing at all without the city's help. So that's the ideological difference. But then I think this is also about council just showing they can flex their muscle, that they are an equal part of government and that the mayor just can't have her way, because Councilmember Jamie Gauthier said on Wednesday, the council takes its job seriously as a steward of taxpayer money in the city of Philadelphia, that we are not here to just rubber stamp a proposal. We're here to work together. So I think that indicates they're flexing their muscles and they're not going to be like Republicans in Congress doing whatever the president says. They're going to be independent. And that is, I think, part of the message that they're trying to send. They're even talking about the home initiative, which was Parker's creation, as their own. They describe it as like, our plan.
Yeah.
And so far, the council president, who Kenyatta Johnson, who the mayor describes as her brother, and they've had like this close working relationship, he's sticking with his council members here.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I have many questions, many questions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, do you think you can literally help every homeowner or landlord make repairs and modifications for their homes?
No.
I don't think so. I mean, I want to be very clear. It is very, very admirable for the mayor to come up with this plan, right?
Sure.
Like just thinking about the stability of households,
Right.
of Philadelphian households.
Right.
It's also admirable for council members to look out for their low-income constituents.
Sure.
But I'm wondering about this interesting characterization of the mayor that I read in the Inquirer. They describe her style of negotiating as unbending, meaning like she's like a tough, kind of like a tough cookie.
Yeah.
And it seems like this has really just been an exercise of making sure that Philadelphia homeowners aren't displaced or even worse, make that tough decision to leave the city.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like no one else is like talking about this, but it's like, hello, there's like these brand new shiny buildings in Center City. I've seen these like multi-layered, like nice roof deck, expensive, nearly $1 million homes in Manayunk, on the hills of Manayunk.
Point Breeze.
And I'm just like, how could I ever afford that?
Yeah.
It looks so shiny. It almost feels like, who's living in those? And I always wonder, what type of jobs do y'all have? So I got to go back to school and like become a doctor, you know? So what's also interesting, again, I feel like people aren't listening to each other in this confusion. Mayor Parker said it. PHA has its own ambitious plan of creating 20,000 units of housing. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if, and I would love to ask the mayor this.
Yeah.
Is that the reason why you are trying to
focus on the middle class?
Focus on that middle class,
because
that working
the
class? Because PHA is handling that.
People who can't get into housing at all. Right. Exactly right.
That's my question.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So what's next?
Well, the mayor can't do anything about this vote yesterday. So the council won this battle. They've essentially shifted the income eligibility. So people on the lower end of the household income spectrum will be eligible for these programs. That therefore limits the number of people in the middle class who can have access to these programs. But that vote only affects year one of this program. It only is applicable to pieces of the whole initiative. So there are more battles and votes on the horizon. The next one is in the new year. The city council is going to have to actually vote on the bond expenditure to go out and borrow for this. So that's the next piece of this. And that has to happen before any of this can even be rolled out. And the mayor wanted this done over the summer. So this is already delaying her initiative. And, you know, this is her legacy project. And she's about to hit year 3 of her 4-year term.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I was about to say, because her term is halfway done.
Exactly right. So she wants to have something to show for it.
Time is ticking. We've got more news after the break. I just love holiday traditions with my family. Like when we get into arguments over card games, when the kids beg to open one gift on Christmas Eve, or the karaoke and dance battles in the living room, we have such a good time. But my family lives in different states, so we can't often come together every holiday. So the photos and videos I make sure to take are meaningful and special to us. You can't wrap togetherness, but you can frame it with an Aura frame. Unlimited free photos and video. Just download the Aura app and connect to Wi-Fi. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using promo code CityCast at checkout. That's auraframes.com. Promo code CityCast. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast. So order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is sponsored by Babbel. The idea of learning a new language can be scary. I felt overwhelmed by that. I bet you have too. I'm CityCast CEO David Plotz, and studies show that up to 90% of people trying to learn a new language give up. 90%. Fortunately, Babbel's built so that it's really easy to get started and really easy to stick with it. They understand that people learn differently. So maybe you can dive into a podcast on Babbel when you don't feel like a quick lesson, or you can speak out loud to get practice in, or you can explore courses based on specific topics and even create your own customized review lists, all within the Babbel app. Babbel has made learning a language all about small steps with real wins and progress you can actually track and feel. Bite-sized lessons that fit easily into your daily routine and are also easy to remember. Just 10 minutes a day is enough to start seeing real results. I've been learning Spanish with Babbel, and it's helped when I've traveled in Mexico, and it helps me eavesdrop on my son and my girlfriend when they speak Spanish to try to fool me. No más! mi corazón. However you learn best, by listening, speaking, reading, or writing, Babbel adapts to your style and keeps you motivated with personalized learning plans, real-time feedback, and progress tracking. And right now, here's a special limited-time deal for CityCast listeners. Right now, get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription at babbel.com/CityCast. Get up to 55% off at babbel.com/CityCast. Spelled BABBEL.com/CityCast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Oh man, this next story just broke my heart because, as y'all know, and let me introduce this concept to our new neighbors. I am a football mom. I'm a cheer mom. Our family is proud of our North Philly Aztecs roots in football and cheerleading in that organization over in Hunting Park. Over the past weekend, 8 teenage boys who were 14, 15 years old, they were members of United Thoroughbreds, which is a local football team. They had an opportunity to go and compete for a national title championship football game.
These kids play up in Olney, I believe.
And before the game, allegedly, these boys got into some Ubers, went down to a Dick's Sporting Goods store in this Florida community, and stole more than $2,000 in merchandise, like football, like merch. So according to 6ABC, the boys are accused of splitting into groups, stealing football stuff, and a manager watched them, called the police, and authorities were waiting for the boys and picked them up outside. The sheriff, and I'm sure some of you all have seen some of the social media videos of the sheriff of Polk County having this like tough approach, like a zero tolerance approach in this case. And he is charging these children felony retail theft and conspiracy to commit retail theft. He kind of had this thing, it's like, not in my county, type of vibe. The coaches were speechless.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how these boys snuck out without anyone knowing. And what ultimately happened is that the rest of the team was upset because those 8 players could not play in that championship game later in the day. And the team ultimately lost their championship. And they lost by like 20 points. It breaks my heart because as a team mom, we had an opportunity to take our North Philly Aztecs cheerleading team down to Florida one year. It was my daughter's first time being on this team. She was so proud. And I was a chaperone. And, we had to keep these girls entertained. We kept them fed. They were focused on the competition. And we actually, like the night before the title, we actually had to change the routine a little bit because we got some feedback from the judges, like, okay, if y'all do this, then you're going to really stick the routine. And we were bonding together. And we even set up a study hall for the girls, Matt, so they wouldn't fall behind on their homework. So these girls were very, very busy. They were active. They were supervised, is what I'm trying to say. Right. And the fact that these boys were not supervised, they were not out of practice or doing homework, that was baffling to me. Yeah. And just the shame of it all, you know what I'm saying? And how they let down their other team members, the coaches, the parents who worked hard to get them there. And this is like a dream for these kids and the parents. And then the financial undertaking that it takes to get your child on an airplane, in the hotel, on the field, so you could get, video footage of them so they can get into these great high schools to play football. Sure. Just taken away.
Our friend Claudia Vargas over at NBC 10, she spoke to one of the coaches, and he said he woke up the boys for prayer the morning they were down there, and 8 of them just weren't in their beds. The coach sounded like a strong figure on the team. He sounded like he knew the gravity of this, and he believed that the boys had learned a lesson. And he seemed like he cared. But again, you and I are both involved in travel sports, and it's pretty baffling that they were able to just escape essentially like that. Like there was clearly some sort of hole in the supervision here. It can be hard, as you know, to travel with large groups of kids like this. I've been in travel tournaments with my son. We've been in restaurants in other towns in other states where the boys on my son's baseball team get
rowdy,
side eyes and
right. And the little attitudes because they're like preteens in their hormonal stages.
And where you take them all out to eat, and the other patrons are like pissed off that they went to that restaurant because the boys are acting foolish all over the place. So, I get that. And that it can be hard to control, and you don't want to it's other people's kids and the whole thing. But
as adults, I feel like we need to take responsibility,
Totally.
right? We need to step up. We need to do better. We need to just because some people, right? They're like, "Oh, you taking my kids? Oh, I could chill."
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? But we gotta step up. We gotta do better for our kids and our organizations that we have all worked really hard to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
This is volunteer work. This is it's our money going into this. So
totally. And I hope the cases are adjudicated with these kids in a way that is not too detrimental to their families financially and otherwise.
I was like, geez.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back after this break. Trenae Nuri here. I love Philly, and I never feel more connected to it than when I bump into people and they're like, "What are you carrying?" I'm like, "I'm carrying my CityCast Philly Neighbors tote." And then they're like, "CityCast Philly? I listened to that." That feeling of deep connection with the city is why we created the CityCast Philly Neighbors program. Yes, the CityCast Philly Neighbors program is a way to support this podcast and keep it going. But it's also a way of getting more out of the city that you love. When you're a CityCast Philly neighbor, you get an early look at events coming up around town. You get to shout out local nonprofits or businesses that you love, and you get to join us for members-only experiences around town. It's a deeper way of living in Philly and a way of making local your top priority. Join CityCast Philly Neighbors by going to membership.citycast.fm. That's membership.citycast.fm, and you'll get a CityCast Philly beanie. All right, Matt's trying to teach me how to get my inner Rocky. Hey, yo, Matt. Yo, I heard there's a mumble. I heard 20 neighborhoods is getting Liberty Bells to celebrate America's 250th. This might be a little New Yorkish in here. I don't know. Might be a little Brooklyn in here. But anyway, through mural arts, 16 local artists have been designing these replicas of Liberty Bells, and they're going to be placed in parks and business corridors. So if you start to see a Liberty Bell up in Fox Chase, Germantown, Hunting Park, Logan Square, Chinatown, City Hall, El Centro de Oro, Southwest, South Philly, Roxborough, Point Breeze, University City, West Philly, Winfield, Parkside, Torresdale, Ogontz Alany, Mount Airy. Did I say it all?
I think so.
Okay. You're going to start seeing Liberty Bells.
Great. And that's to remind everybody that we have a 250th birthday coming up for America. You know what's weird?
What?
Neither of my kids have ever taken a field trip with their schools to the Liberty Bell. They've been to the Franklin Institute a billion times. But none of it doesn't seem like the national historic sites are on the itinerary for local school kids. Have your kids ever seen the Liberty Bell?
I think so.
I guess I could have taken them to the Liberty Bell.
You could have.
I feel like I should do that.
Why are you putting it all in the school? Step up as a father. Well, I bet you've taken them to see the Rocky statue.
Oh, yeah, of course. And run the Rocky Steps.
Which is a fictional character.
Yeah. That gets more than twice as many visitors every year than the Liberty Bell, which is amazing.
So wait a minute. I feel like maybe the city shouldn't have done replicas of the Liberty Bell, but maybe 20 replicas of Rocky.
Oh my God. Yeah, we apparently need the Rocky replicas. What happened this week with the Rocky statue and its whereabouts?
So there are currently 2 Rocky statues standing tall right now, one at the bottom of the Art Museum steps and one at the top. So here was the original plan. The Philadelphia Art Commission was going to have a Rocky statue sit at the top of the Art Museum steps. And they wanted to give back the Rocky that currently sits at the bottom of the steps, which a lot of people take photos with. They were going to give that one back to Sylvester Stallone, the actor who plays Rocky. But in a vote this week, there was mixed reviews. There were 3 commissioners who voted yes to the plan. 1 said no, and 2 abstained. But what is happening now is that Stallone came in and said, you know what, Philly, you guys have the statue. So Stallone is graciously giving the original, allowing the city to keep the original Rocky, and they're going to put that one at the top. And Stallone is going to take the replica and put it in his private collection. And that Rocky statue that now is going into his private collection was a Rocky statue that's been at the top of the steps for about a year now, because we had that Rocky Fest last year, which was like this major celebration of like all the Rockies and basically this entire like fictional character.
It's also funny because it's a replica of a statue of a fictional character that people have seen in real life and touched in real life millions of times, when there's like priceless art on the other side of the front door of the art museum that has not been.
But I'm sorry, but
the same number of people.
Matt, I walked the Rocky steps when I was pregnant.
You're supposed to run the Rocky Steps, Trenae.
I walked the Rocky steps. You didn't hear me. I had to walk the Rocky steps when I was pregnant with Yahara.
Okay.
And she's a fighter. So it is a feat to even make it to the top.
Totally.
Okay? But I wonder, do they still have the footprints?
Oh.
Because there's footprints.
I don't think
and then
so.
that's where you stand, and then you lift up your arms and you go,
Right. I mean, I'm thrilled that it's going up top. I mean, I didn't love the fact that it was at the bottom of the steps. I mean, I think it belongs at the top. So now you should be required to make the ascent.
To make the Mecca up the steps?
Yes, exactly. And then you can throw your arms in the air.
Maybe I will go visit the Rocky statues before it gets swapped out this weekend.
Because the bottom line is there will be one.
There will be one.
And it will be at the top of the steps.
And it'll be at the top. What are you doing this weekend? I'm going to shop for like a bunch of like holiday gifts. It's like everybody's got a holiday party. And I'm just like, whoa.
I feel like it's a little more Al Pacino.
Oh, God, I need help. Help me.
Well, first night of Hanukkah is Sunday. So we'll be celebrating that. Got some good gifts for the kids.
Yay.
Don't tell them, but we got some surprise Philadelphia sports jerseys coming. Also, we should tell folks coming up this week, next Thursday, we are going to be over at the Pen and Pencil Club, oldest journalist club in the country, for the semi-regular Philly podcast mixer. So we're looking for people who are involved in the audio community or people who just love podcasts to come by. You will be emceeing this event. It's sponsored by Row Home Productions.
Shout out Alex and John.
Great podcast production company here in town. And what we're doing is we're asking people who have audio projects, who have podcast projects, to come up and pitch their shows. They get like 3 minutes and you'll be maybe asking a question or two. So we're hoping a lot of people come out to mix and mingle with the podcast community, the growing podcast community in Philadelphia, and hang out at the extremely cool Pen and Pencil Club over at 15th and Latimer.
Yes. Well, before we let you go, I want to shout out some of our newest neighbors. Brian A., Julianne A., Michael H., and Rudy V. Hey, y'all. Welcome to the neighborhood. So on top of you guys getting that new beanie, which you can see a picture of on our Instagram and in our newsletter, our neighbors get so much more. One of those benefits and one of those perks is getting invites to our members-only events and also a shout out for your favorite local business or nonprofit. Our neighbor, KR, says, everyone should check out Fabrique Spa. It is a queer-owned organic spa on Fabric Row. They've got facial treatments, massages, acupuncture, and more. Thank you, Kay. See, our neighbors, we help each other out. And we want to share that love with you. So become a CityCast Philly neighbor right now. Time is running out because we want you to get that beanie. Membership.citycast.fm/Philly is how you become a neighbor. Just $10 a month, $100 a year. You can join our neighborhood and become a CityCast Philly neighbor. Membership.citycast.fm. Julianne wrote, I read your newsletter every morning and enjoy the coverage of what's going on in the city. I also appreciate the events on the weekends. Thanks, Julianne. Yes, we've got a great listing of events that Siani puts together. And our members, our neighbors, get an special exclusive email to those events of the whole week on Mondays. So go to membership.citycast.fm/Philly right now. Matt, it was great talking news with you this week.
Have a great weekend, Trenae.
You too. That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. Our executive producer is Matt Katz. Our producers are Abby Fritz, Selena Say Reynolds, and Natalie Rivera. Our Hey Philly newsletter editor is Siani Colon, and our host is me, Trenae Nuri. Music is by Philly's own Interminable, with additional music from All the Kimonos. If you enjoyed this week of episodes, please share a link in the group chat. Also, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter, Hey Philly. We'll be back Monday morning with a lot more news from around the city. Have a great weekend and be safe, y'all. Bye. Lost it, Matt.
Yo, Adrian.
Hey, yo, Matt. No, I mean, wait.
It's the Marvels.
Okay.
It's a mumble.